All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Jared Rigo from City Communications. Thanks for coming out to the Fire Department headquarters to hear some important information updates from the city and from FEMA. We're going to have some presentations from Chief of Staff Laura Newman, Renee Baffalis from FEMA, and our Emergency Management Director, Brett Waters. There will be time for questions afterwards. An important note, we're double booked for another meeting in here, so when you want to do individual one-on-one interviews after the main press conference, those will be held out in the museum just through that door. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome up Chief of Staff Laura Newman.
Thank you, Jared. Good morning, everyone. I'm here on behalf of Mayor Bach, and we're very happy to announce, thanks to FEMA, who's here in the audience with us today, the state of Colorado, and the efforts of our local emergency personnel, that the federal major disaster declaration for the state of Colorado has been amended to include Clear Creek, El Paso, and Jefferson County for individual assistance. This means that federal funds have been released to help individuals and communities recovering from the flood, landslides, and mudslides that occurred beginning on September 11th. A FEMA representative, Renee Baffalis, behind me, is going to come forward to discuss how citizens are able to obtain support. Renee, if you could.
Thank you. Good morning. First of all, I would just like to let you all know that the first step that any resident that has been affected by these floods needs to take is to contact their insurance company if indeed they had insurance. The second step is to register with FEMA. They can do that by calling our 800 number. It's 1-800-621-3362, or they can go online to www.disasterassistance.gov, and they can register that way. Those phones are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we need to make sure that that is your first step. Disaster survivor assistance teams are also in the area. We have 4 that are over at the Disaster Assistance Center today, and then through, I guess, next week when those centers are still open. We also have 4 teams that will be out throughout the communities speaking with residents that have been affected. Individual assistance is available to homeowners and renters. We also have the Small Business Administration that will be working in the area. Low interest disaster assistance loans will be available for homeowners, renters, businesses, and nonprofits. Individual assistance could include such things as grants for home repairs that are not covered by insurance, rental costs for temporary housing, serious disaster-related needs not covered by insurance, such as medical, dental, funeral expenses, moving and storage fees, property replacement, things of that sort. So if anyone has any additional questions, you can contact me. My cell phone number is 202-531-9391, and I am the Public Information Officer here and will be in the community and will be around to speak with you all as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee, and thank you for being here today with us. In addition, I think most of you already know, but the city's Disaster Assistance Center has been opened. Would like to take the opportunity to thank Superintendent Walt Cooper with District 12 for allowing us to use Canyon Elementary. Brett Waters, our Director of the Office of Emergency Management, will provide information on how victims of the flooding can access our Disaster Assistance Center to receive help and service from local agencies. Brett?
Thank you, Laura. Let me just add on the assessment process that we've had a damage assessment plan, very well planned for several years regarding flooding, and that was a big key part, working with Chief Riley and his staff on really making the case for FEMA on what damages have occurred to get individual assistance. So we thank those individuals involved with that. The Disaster Assistance Center is open as we speak. It's open today until 6 p.m. We're going to extend the hours tomorrow. It'll start at 9, but also end at 6 p.m. on Saturday as well. And so today till 6 p.m., tomorrow from 9 to 6 p.m. Obviously, FEMA just stated they will be there, and believe they have individuals there now. We also have Red Cross, United Way, City of Colorado Springs Public Works, other agencies such as Colorado Springs Utilities and El Paso County Public Health there as well. So we can get questions answered there. Obviously, we're still formulating strategies, but really citizens can get a lot of answers in that area as far as the questions they may have. Again, that's at Canyon Elementary. Some of the efforts we're also working on are volunteer efforts. There's many volunteer groups who want to assist the neighborhood. We're working with community members on ways to assist in that area, so that those things will continue to formulate and develop as we go along. Let me also note, and we'll have this on our website shortly, is be wary of scams. There'll be information on the website about those who would take advantage of our citizens. Please be aware that scammers are out there after disaster to take advantage of individuals and families. We'll have information on the website to let citizens know what they need to do to avoid those things.
All right, thank you, Brett. And now we have time for questions. Kim Melkor from City Communications is off to the side there with a microphone. Please just raise your hand and let us know who this question is for. Eric.
My question is possibly for FEMA or whomever possibly could answer it. Question is, how much money specifically is targeted for El Paso County out of that FEMA money?
There is not a designated amount. It just depends on what the need is in the community.
Renee, how soon will that money be available for people?
As soon as folks start registering, the money is available now. The registration process is open and running, and our operators are available to take those calls. What we really encourage people to do, though, is to register prior to coming to either a disaster recovery center once that is opened, and that should be, fairly soon. We just don't have a specific time frame on that. But to get registered, you will get a registration number. Once you have that number, that will be sort of your go-to to be able to go into a center and access all your information. So they'll know where your registration stands.
Any more questions?
To the FEMA media specialist, Renee. May I call you Renee?
Of course.
Okay. You said there's no designated amount, but there would have to be some kind of aggregate total that you're looking at as far as those funds being available for El Paso County. Is there any ballpark figure that you're thinking about, or is the sky the limit?
Well, it just depends on the specific need in the community. Every situation, every person's situation is different. Some may get the maximum grant amount, and then again, some may have insurance that's covering their full needs. So at this time, we're not going to guesstimate on things like that. We have grant funds that are set aside through the federal government that will allow us to do whatever is necessary within the communities. May I also just say, when you see when the survivors are approached by FEMA personnel that are out in the field, our disaster teams, they will have FEMA shirts on, and they will also have FEMA identification. So going along with what Brett said, we want to make sure that folks realize that they need to look at that identification to make sure that they are FEMA personnel.
All right, thanks, Renee. Just a couple more bits of information to reiterate. For citizens to register with disaster assistance for FEMA, please call 1-800-621-FEMA. That's 621-3362. And when you register, have the following information available, please. Your Social Security number, private insurance information if available, address and zip code of the damaged property, directions to the damaged home or property, and a telephone number where FEMA can reach you. Or you can register online at www.disasterassistance.gov. I want to thank everyone for coming out this morning, and just as a quick,
Let me just add one other item. Just to clarify, you should register. If you think you've had flood damages, register. There is no downside of registering with FEMA, so do not hesitate to register. If you don't think you have enough flood damages, just register. That is a safe thing to do at this point.